Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting, scintillating episode of the Chocolate Bros Review Show. We're doing a little shadow boxing, man. You gotta get warmed up. You know, when a boxer goes into the ring, they want to get break a little sweat before
That's
they
right.
go to the ring. You want to be warmed up.
Loosen up. That's right.
Yeah,
Tap,
we
tap,
just
boom.
want to be warm so we
Tap,
can
tap, boom.
so we can get in here and do it the right way.
It's the old 1, 2, 3 out of
You're
tap,
here-
tap, boom.
Boom. You're here with the boxing trainer, Brian. Tap the old tap, tap, boom. You're here with Brian and Adam. We are the owners of Fortunato Chocolate. Check us out at www.fortunatochocolate.com. We have been buying a thought to be extinct variety of cocoa bean in the jungle of northern Peru for going on 16 years now. Brian lived in the jungle for 10 years running our cacao buying and processing operation. Yes, we have 2 retail locations and a manufacturing facility here in the fine small town of Issaquah, Washington. And the purpose of this show is to review other people's chocolates. Brian, any thoughts on that?
I want to say the reason that we're reviewing other people's chocolates is because it's getting warm out there.
It's getting hot.
It's almost summertime, folks.
Man.
It is summer in some places. There's a heat dome going on. It means you can't ship chocolate very well. Now, we don't use thermal packaging materials for ecological and business reasons. And so a lot of our customers that want to get our chocolate this time of year, they have a little trouble getting it. We want to be of service to them and offer them some alternatives, stuff that they can just find in the grocery store. It doesn't require a dedicated high-end craft chocolate store to find these things. And it doesn't necessarily require any shipping so that it won't melt in transit. And the other thing that we want to do is kind of keep our fingers on the pulse of the chocolate industry.
You were in the Army, right?
I was in the Army, yes.
Did you get any first aid training in the
I
Army?
did get some first aid training.
What's a better?
absolutely.
Sometimes I see the pulse
No,
down
neck
here.
is better.
Neck is better?
Neck is better.
All right, cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that was interesting. Went for the wrist.
Yeah, well, I don't know why I did that. But
All right, keep
thank you
going,
for pointing
sorry.
it out, Adam.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate nothing makes an episode of our show more
yeah,
awkward
yeah.
than and I do it too. So there's no reason
All
we
right, go
should do
ahead.
that to each other. So we are gonna review this chocolate bar, and today, one day only, we are gonna review the Simple Truth Organic Sea Salt Dark Chocolate 70% cacao
May
bar.
I say something here, Brian?
You may.
May I chime in?
You may.
So this is I think this is the Kroger white label brand,
Yes.
the Simple Truth Organic.
That's right. Simple Truth Organic can be found here in Issaquah. We have a Safeway, a Fred Meyer, and a QFC.
Everything's owned by Kroger.
All
around here.
Kroger, and this brand is common among those 3 grocery
So I
stores.
want to just point out a couple of things here.
Please point them out.
First, I like the whole branding of this Simple Truth Organic.
Okay.
They've got this nice, simple, clean branding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of company it is. I mean, I know it's the organic or the Kroger
Mm-hmm.
in-house organic brand, but these guys do a really good job of making it feel like a high-end organic brand.
Right.
Even though it's actually a white label brand.
And-
So kudos to the people over at Simple Truth Organic. It's not that easy to pull off a certain look and feel, but I think they do a really good job doing that across the board on their milk, on their eggs, on
Yeah, I
their
was gonna
chocolate,
say,
everything.
they have, so
yeah.
you can get this is the same product that you would get under a brand name. It must be. There's no Simple Truth factory. They are having almond milk and oat milk produced and packaged for them at
And
the
they do
same plant that produces some other brand. It
And
might
they
be
do produce.
Silk
They
or
do
whatever.
produce as well.
They do produce. They do organic. Now, Simple Truth is not only organic, but they have products.
That's right.
Eggs, packaged meats, all kind of packaged stuff, and they're getting it from the same factory. So this is a chocolate that is made, and we're gonna
break it down,
opine
yeah.
on what that factory might be in a minute. But they're getting this chocolate from a factory that's producing other chocolate for another company under a different brand. It's the same stuff, same beans, same manufacturing process, same everything. It's going under their brand. And yes, they've created a look and
Yeah.
feel. And I mean,
If there's 2 things I like in this world, Brian, it's simplicity and the truth.
that's right.
So you tell me about something that's simple and true, you've got my attention. Brian, right back to you. Kicking it right back over to you, bro.
You had my interest, but now you have his attention.
Yeah, oh, simple and true?
It's simple and true.
Tell me more.
Fantastic. So let's just talk a little bit about what's going on here. This is a 70% cacao dark chocolate
Straight
with
down
sea
the
salt.
Sea salt.
Straight up.
You like chocolate and salt.
I love chocolate and salt. Now, with fine sea salt. Now, this is not just any sea salt.
Now, would that mean fine, like high quality sea salt, or fine, like finely ground?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
We
I
don't
guess
know.
we're gonna find out.
We don't know. I actually hope it means fine quality and with a bigger chunk. I like
If the
a little
inclusion
bit
is-
bigger.
yeah, I do too. The grains.
The grain of salt that's a little bigger. It gives it a crunch, etc. The labels here are USDA organic, non-GMO, and fair trade certified. So organically grown, no preservatives. This is a mass market industrial bar of chocolate, almost certainly made with bulk African or Latin American or even
Yeah.
Asian,
But it's
could be
but
Indonesian or Malaysian
purchase fair trade, certified organic.
Purchase
so-
fair trade from a large cooperative, I'm sure.
Yep.
It says that the organic is Switzerland and it's a product of Switzerland, which implies Nestle or Lindt probably
Yeah,
are the
yeah,
two
yeah,
viable.
Yep.
Are the two viable. This has almost certainly gone through the value chain of Nestle or Lindt and is produced in Switzerland at a great big industrial factory of Nestle or Lindt. And this would, so even those big industrial concerns, they are going to differentiate their products and they're going to use a different level of bean. For this type of bar, a 70% bar with only salt, one would hope, one would expect that they're using the better end of their range of beans that they have available to
Well,
them.
we're gonna taste it, but again, this is a great example of how to do a brand correctly, in my opinion. They're checking every box.
They're checking every
They're
box.
checking every box you would want a person to check. It's simple. It's true. Remember that from earlier? It's simple. It's
You know
remember,
what?
Remember that from a few minutes ago?
It's like you're calling back
Gone back.
to a previous.
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
simple. It's true. It's organic. It's fair trade certified.
Yeah.
It's everything. You know, it's a 70% dark chocolate. So
They're-
they've done a really good job of sort of meticulously checking every box
they're-
that you would want them to check, but we still don't know how it tastes.
They're not doing the thing. I actually think this is a plus to this bar. They're not talking about the farmers. They're not trying to talk about how they're giving back and all that stuff. It's fair trade. They're letting that be enough.
Yeah,
They're keeping
yeah,
it simple.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
not text on the inside.
Well, and they
that-
can't,
that
and
talks
there's,
to
and there's
anything.
probably not much they could really do about that.
No, because these are
the-
coming from unspecified farmers. It's a huge
Yeah, yeah.
This could be a blend that's coming. There
Well,
could
and
be
this is-
beans from 100 farmers.
And this is
in
not a
bar.
chocolate company either.
No.
This is a company that white labels a whole
Right.
bunch of different brands
They're
that are
doing
sold
the
in a
things
grocery
that's
store.
easy for this type of company to do. They checked all the boxes.
But they're doing everything that they can do.
and they're-
That's easy.
And that goes on down to the ingredients, which is organic cocoa mass, organic cane sugar, organic cocoa butter, sea salt, and organic vanilla pods.
That's straightforward.
It's very straightforward.
Yeah.
There's nothing in here. The only thing they've done wrong so far, in my opinion, is have the dreaded, feared, disliked, thin sealed aluminum wrap, which is hard to open.
and then you
So I
can't, and then
just
you
wanna
can't, and then you can't reseal it.
Here's the opening right here. I'm trying to just get it apart without tearing it. You can't do
Yeah,
it.
and now it's just open, and you're gonna have a hard
It's-
time putting it back if
Right,
you don't
if
eat
you
the whole
don't
bar.
eat the
in
whole
one
bar
setting.
more or less all at once,
Okay.
then you're going to be in trouble. But here we are. We're unpackaging this bar, and
There you go, Bry.
there's a little bit for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit for me. We have just a little bit of damage to the bar right on the corner here. It's a little out of temper, a little bit of fat bloom on the corner.
And you just bought this at the grocery store a couple days back, right?
Yeah, last week. And I can see a little graininess. Aroma,
Melting on the fingers.
straight out of Central Casting.
Mm-hmm.
Just cacao. Nothing off. Nothing fruity, nothing, just plain old chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. It's an attractive chocolate aroma. Nothing wrong with it. All right, let's give it a try.
So they don't have the big grains of sea salt.
Mm-mm.
So I wonder if the fine sea salt actually did refer to the fact that it's like very finely ground. You don't get the crunch that you're thinking. When I hear sea salt, when I hear bar with a sea salt inclusion,
I am getting the salt though.
you get the taste of the
Yeah,
salt.
yeah.
But the other part of that is you're expecting to get the little texture from the salt pieces, which is not happening here. And when that happens, the salt just kind of mixes in, which, in my opinion, takes something away from using salt
Yeah.
as an inclusion. You want to set it off, or you want me to?
I'll go.
All right, go ahead.
All right. There's nothing immediately apparently wrong with the beans. I can't get any off flavors from a bad fermentation. Nothing moldy, nothing slatey. The salt is on the front. The salt is on the front. It's noticeable. The salt is at a low volume. You're not getting a salt taste per se. What it does is what it does for food. It adds a little body, a little volume, a little balance to the flavor. The beans are lacking complexity, as you would expect. There's really no particular like maybe a little nuttiness. It's there's a little bit of oiliness, but it's not overly cocoa buttery.
No.
Like the balance seems good. If anything, I'd say the way the oil hits, there's a kind of a deep nuttiness that I would compare to maybe like a Brazil nut, something like that. But other than that, there's no real fruity or flowery or any of that stuff. It's just plain old chocolate. It's a 70%. The salt gives it a kind of a rounds out the flavor a little bit. It's a solid, if unspectacular bar with nothing notably wrong with it, either in packaging, ingredients, or flavor.
I think if you're going to the store and you're looking for a good value and
Yeah.
you just want to get a dark chocolate fix, this could be a good option.
You could do a lot worse than this.
You could do a lot worse, but so as you were talking and I'm just sort of letting the tail run, there's a like sort of long bitterness to it that picks up towards the end. I don't know if it's from the roast or if it's from the cacao itself. I do think a big part of what's happening here is, so they didn't use the thick grain salt as a textural piece. They salted the chocolate, so the chocolate's kind of like good and salty.
Yeah.
Plus you have the vanilla in here. So I think with the salt and the vanilla, you're getting like a fairly pleasurable flavor sensation. With the bit long, I don't know if you can taste it, but I get a lot of bitterness on the tail.
Yeah, it is bitter on the tail.
So I think what's happening here, I think we're talking just some pretty generic cacao.
Yes.
A lot of what's good about this bar, in my opinion, is because of the vanilla and the salt.
That's a good point. It's
vanilla,
over roasted.
Because vanilla and salt always taste good.
Yeah.
And especially as you kind of get through the vanilla on the salt and get into the long tail of the chocolate, I don't find the lingering taste pleasurable at all.
The tail,
and it would make me not want to eat very much more.
There's an astringency that comes through in the end. I agree. The tail is causing me to step back a little bit from my previous point because the astringency is becoming apparent. The bitterness is becoming apparent. The over roast is becoming apparent.
All of it comes after.
And when they over roast like this, it's because they're covering some basic defects.
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
So what happens with this is because of the salt and the vanilla, your initial reaction is to go, oh, this is not bad.
But the salt and the vanilla fade, and
what's wrong with the cacao
what's wrong lingers.
You just get this over roasted.
Yeah.
Think
true.
like a dark roast Starbucks coffee. You just get this over roast bitterness at the end that reveals itself. See, the guy who goes first on a bar like this gets tricked.
Yeah.
Because you think it's going to be good. And the problem with something like this, too, is if you buy this from the store and you start eating it and you go, oh, this is good. You're eating. Afterwards, your palate is going to be completely blown out.
Yeah.
And the tail of this is, to me, is a bummer. The
I
tail
agree.
of this is a real bummer.
I was leaning towards a solid B, but I'm into the solid C to C minus range
now. I am. Yeah.
Because of what's staying. Because you're right. Normally, I pick up the defects right at the front end.
Yeah.
So let's say this. They have successfully hidden the defects for when you take that first bite. The aroma, there's nothing wrong with the aroma. There's nothing wrong with it when you put it in your mouth, but you're right. What remains after the effect of the salt and vanilla wear off is a rather unpleasant bitterness and astringency, and the over roast becomes more apparent. And if you know, then you know that what that over roast implies is that they're hiding some intrinsic problems with the beans.
Yeah.
And that might just be their bulk nature of it.
It is, but long term it reveals itself. So I was enjoying it sort of at the beginning, but it was a trick. I would not recommend getting this bar. If you do get it because it's on sale, I would highly recommend that you don't just chow through this bar because the after effects of chowing through it are going to be really not that pleasant. If you have to get this bar or if you think it's a good deal, I would just take it slow.
Yeah.
I would nibble this thing slowly and not like fully satisfy your chocolate craving by mowing through that bar.
Yeah, I'm liking it significantly less with each passing 5-second increment.
Yeah.
Because it's still there.
It's still there.
It's still there, and it's been in there for 5 minutes now.
It's a trick. Yep. So, and this can happen. And actually, this is a case where normally we have this rule of thumb where a good inclusion will pull up the rest of the bar. But because of the way they did the inclusion,
you can't really go heavy on the salt. It's one of the few inclusions that you have a very limited.
And you didn't even get the texture from it.
Right.
So we can see now the salt's a trick. It wasn't an inclusion; it was a trick to trick you on the front.
Yeah.
So that you would forget about how the tail's going to be. So
yeah,
I don't like this bar. I'm going on record. I liked it up front.
Yeah.
As it ran long, I completely changed my mind on this bar, and
Yeah.
I can't get on board with this
As
bar.
I was talking about what was good about it,
Yeah.
what was bad about it was occurring to you.
Yeah.
And now it's fully in flower
It's fully.
for me.
I couldn't eat another bite of that. In fact, I feel like it might give me a stomachache if I keep eating it.
Wow, I don't feel that.
I can
but
feel it a
just
little
feel
bit.
like it's the true nature of the beans revealed themselves on the tail of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you made a really important call. What they did was they made it pleasant to put in, but it's
Yeah.
not pleasant what
You get,
stays.
you get about 15 seconds of pleasure, and then you get like
The only
10
way-
minutes. Then you get 10 minutes of bitterness.
The only way I would recommend this bar is if you're eating it while drinking something
Yeah.
that would mask the tail.
and
on
take
it.
and take it slow.
Yeah.
And take it slow. Don't mow down the whole bar. So
Yeah.
All right, that's our review of this Simple Truth Organic 70%.
Mr.
with
Simple,
Seafood.
Mrs. Truth, we apologize. We didn't really like your bar.
We so sorry, but
Yeah.
I do like simplicity and
Yeah,
truth.
we do like
So we'll
simple
give you
truth.
two-
So I mean, but are we still giving them credit for the truth?
Oh.
Think about
Wow.
it. Put it in there and then watch it
That's right.
explode your
There,
consciousness.
there was some deceit in that bar,
It was.
and it was complex.
Wow.
Oh, this was the Simple Truth complex deceit bar.
All right, Mr. Kroger, we're gonna be we're gonna have words. We're gonna have to exchange words, Mr. Kroger.
All right, now if you want to try some really good dark chocolate, which is 68%, a little slightly less than a 70%,
You would be remiss.
with no tricks and no confidence games, no flim flam.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
If you want simple truthfulness,
Oh yes.
Fortunato
Check us out at
chocolate.
www.fortunatochocolate.com. If you're in the Seattle area, we're about 9 miles due east of Seattle. Come
That's
check us
right.
out. We work Saturday
Which-
mornings together.
Could take 15 minutes, could take 12
Depend-
minutes. It might take 25
depend-
minutes.
depends
Depends
on
on
the tra-
traffic. And I
depends
like
on-
the fact that you called it out as a distance this time.
Yeah,
Adam.
depends
Well
on
done.
the traffic. Thank you, Brian. Come check us out. We'd love to see you. We work Saturday mornings in ownership. If you like the banter, oh, you won't believe 5 hours worth of banter
You're gonna
every
have
Saturday
to
morning.
Put your hip waders on because the banter gets deep in that story.
Oh,
on
yes,
Saturday
it-
mornings.
yeah.
And I would also like to implore you. I'm imploring you. Hit the like button, people.
Press it.
Smash subscribe.
Subscribe.
You know you're going to want to watch another review. What's wrong with this review?
This is a great review.
What if the tail on our review is just as
Oh.
objectionable as the tail on this chocolate?
How would a review tale manifest itself? Give you a headache afterwards or something?
Yeah, or a certain bitter emotion that
Oh,
stays
bitter,
in your
yeah,
head.
yeah. You get like a resentment. You
Yeah,
start
like
feeling
a
resentful.
resentment that builds, and then you
Yeah.
find yourself just angry and snapping at your partner for the rest of the
Hey,
day.
hey, what happened with you?
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
It was the Chocolate Bros review
Ah,
show.
it was the Chocolate Bros.
All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not going to happen. I don't think so. We keep it simple here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll be back soon with another review. Thank you.
Thank you.